Live from the Caterpillar Global Communications Center at Bradley University, this is BUTV News.
Good evening and welcome to BUTV News. I'm Jack Rake.
And I'm Julia Hunt. Let's take a look at the news. This week, we visit a young business owner's dream startup, Mad Max Coffee in Germantown Hills. Special BUTV News correspondent Reese Miller shows us what makes this small shop unique.
A local resident has made her dream a reality. After years of hard working and planning, they have brought a new gathering place to the community.
I was looking for something else, like career-wise, and then this opportunity kind of just opened up, and I kind of jumped the gun and just went for it. And a week after finding out, I became the new owner, and then opened, I think, maybe 5 or 6 days after that.
On January 1st, Maddie Norman and her mom purchased Mad Max Coffee in Germantown Hills. Since then, they have been hard at work revamping the menu and the appearance of the cafe.
They're open 7 days a week now. Previously, they were open only 6 days a week. We've also changed the menu quite a bit. We didn't take away any drinks, but we've added at least a dozen, mainly teas. We've added some coffees, some more drinks for kids, and we have more plans to add stuff in the summer as well.
Owning a coffee shop isn't just about making great drinks. It's about creating an experience for every customer who walks through the door.
My favorite part about owning Mad Max is definitely getting to connect with all my regulars. I would say probably like 25% of my customers, maybe even 50%, I see multiple times a week, some twice a day, when they're needing that extra caffeine.
But beyond just serving coffee, Maddie hopes her shop will become a staple in the community, a place where people can come together over a great cup of coffee.
We definitely want to bring like some food trucks and do some sort of like craft or like vendor fair. And there's not a lot of local like art and restaurants, so we want to be able to provide a space for those types of people to come and have a place where they feel welcome and can celebrate their art.
With a warm atmosphere and a passion for quality, Mad Max is brewing more than just coffee. It's brewing connections and community. For BUTV News, I'm Reese Miller.
The Steiner Symposium a couple of weeks ago held a plethora of topics involving sports communications. From a retirement to new advances in networking across different countries, Kiara Bayer has more details.
Unlike his usual speeches, the founder of the Steiner Symposium, Charlie Steiner, decided to record a video to play at the beginning of the first panel.
We have a brief video from the namesake of our school, Mr. Charlie Steiner, who unfortunately could not be with us this year.
While he had many passions involving sports communication, he says he never expected to actually start an event like this.
What I did not expect was a Steiner school, a Steiner symposium, and all the trappings that go with it.
The first of the panels was hosted by Dr. Paul Gullifer, who Steiner had decided to give a final send-off to.
Become a very good, honored friend of mine, a decent human being who is calling it a day. This is going to be the last symposium for Paul, and then he goes on with the rest of his grown-up life.
Next was the school success stories, to which various students from different backgrounds came to show representation.
We've had an enormous amount of success of those students who have come through Bradley and the symposium and sports media.
The final panel was Sports and Globalization. Hosted by Dr. Setong Guo, they not only discussed different popular sports across different cultures, but even marketing strategies to appeal to various audiences depending on the country and its values.
Thank you, Josh. And I just want to say thank you for everyone taking a valuable time here for the last panel of this year's Steiner Symposium, and I'm happy to see many of you here today.
For more information on the panelists and moderators, visit the Steiner Symposium page under the Bradley University website. For BUTV News, I'm Kiara Bayer.
Last Thursday, Visual Voices hosted a guest speaker on some of Switzerland's most influential artists. Guest speaker Ramon Munoz, a former teacher of Bradley's own professors, discussed some Swiss culture and some visual art of different and unique artists. He also discussed some of his own experiences in Switzerland as he used to teach at various schools within the country. His main focus for these visual graphics included billboards, posters, and film ads commonly found across Switzerland.
at the request of my former student, Jay Shea, and just gave this talk to your students about Werner Jecker, Pierre Neumann, and Bruno Manguzzi.
Munoz commented how sophisticated Bradley is and how he hopes to come back soon to campus for more discussions on visual arts across different countries.
Weather with Avishi.
And Cassie updates us on the world of video games and Vocaloids.
Most hiring algorithms would scream me out.
Some bosses couldn't see me as a leader.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
I've been running code as long as I've been able to reach a keyboard.
This is what I do. It's second nature for me, coordinating 100 details at once.
It's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
I sold them on my skills.
You gotta be so good they can't ignore you.
My magic is
analytics and empathy. That's how I'm getting clients. You have to have the confidence in yourself to show up and defy the odds.
I'm more than who I am.
I never got a college degree, and today I'm the CEO of my own company. People want to tell me I'm one in a million, when actually I'm one of millions. Stars are all around us. It's time for them to shine.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. Of course, it's awkward to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping. Hey, bestie, how's sketches, mate? It's hard to get their attention. Ready? Go. Yes, look at that. You didn't turn yours over. So if you want to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, you have to get it trending. Right, Backpack Kid?
Let's do it.
First, invite your kid to do the vape talk. Let's try this. All right.
Why is he here?
Yeah, I gotta get it trending, honey.
Come on.
To the left. To the right. Let's go.
Oh, honey, can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
I see a lot of your friends vaping.
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
I feel like the weather was really great today. What about you guys? Did you like it?
I don't know. I got up early this morning to see the twilight, and it was so beautiful.
Oh my goodness. I think it might have rained overnight too. I saw some puddles kind of making campus a little bit sparkly this morning, but it was really nice to be able to wear shorts again.
Right?
Oh, yes.
Me too. I thought it was kind of like gloomy today morning, but then I feel like it was a really great start for the day. Yeah. Now, with weather showing its tantrums with some rain and sun and maybe even clouds, it seems that the Mother Nature just cannot make up her mind. 1 minute it's rain and gloomy, and the next it's dazzling sun. But don't forget to have your umbrella and sunglasses together with you. With that, let's see how the campus looked like today. We did have a gloomy start of the day, but I feel like it was quite good for most of the part. And luckily, we did not have much rain throughout the day today. So moving on with the radar maps. Comparing today's weather to yesterday's, we had a really stable weather throughout the day today. The forecast shows that we had decreasing clouds throughout the day, so the trends was pretty much warmer than normal temperature. Now let's see at the temp maps for today. We had the highest of 79 degrees and the lowest of 56 degrees today. And it was kind of like a gloomy start of the day, but I think the sun did pick up its pace, so it was a really good condition for today. Now let's move on to the 5-day forecast for the week. Like mentioned before, the weather looks a bit unstable over the week, or maybe stable. It's kind of like sunny throughout the day, a few days, but then it's kind of getting a bit rainy and cloudy throughout the week, so I feel like you guys must have your shades and umbrellas at standby. I hope all of you have a great week, rest of the week, and handing it over to Cassie with entertainment news.
Thanks, Abishi. It's all good news this week, from Hatsune Miku to dating your furniture. So let's jump right into it. Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson, the popular astrophysicist who has been getting people into science and space through books and television, is going to be making a stop in Peoria this Friday as part of his Search for Life in the Universe tour. For $50, you can nab a ticket to watch the famous author at the Peoria Civic Center. The event is to go from 7:30, but the doors open at 6:30. Make sure to get your tickets fast, though, if you're interested. Considering its popularity, who knows when they'll run out? Next up, the new video game Date Everything had its release date trailer about 2 weeks ago, announcing that it would be coming out on June 17th. The game is a sandbox taking place within your home, where you can date up to 100 memorable characters, such as your front door or your wall. There are different relationship statuses that can be achieved with each character, too, which is nice that are less interested in romance when it comes down to dating your furniture, and more interested in exploring friendship and hatred. The game is 16+ and can currently be wishlisted on Steam. Finally, let's end on some good news for the Vocaloid community. After 12 years since the original voice bank was released and months of waiting, the first Hatsune Miku movie, Colorful Stage, the movie, A Miku Who Can't Sing, was released to the United States on April 18th. The movie is all about helping Miku spread joy and get her presents back. While the reviews are still coming in, so far it seems like the fans are thrilled to finally have an official movie. So guys, if you could date any furniture in your home, what would you date?
I think that I would probably date my air fryer just because I feel like we've been through a lot of late nights, a lot of late snacks.
I'd pick my bed. Very cliche answer, but it's true.
I think I'd pick the air fryer as well because it makes everything possible.
Yes, great answers. Well, after the break, an interview with a Bradley student who has written his own musical.
And a look at Bradley's HEAT event aimed at bringing awareness to the dangers of drunk driving.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. That I know what you're going through. I know things aren't easy, but you still show up. I wonder if you know that we can get help. That we don't have to go through this alone. Let's see how far we can go. Love, your mind.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Food can open endless possibilities for people to thrive. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Everyone deserves to live a full life. And with your help, together we can end hunger. Join the movement at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
It's not every day you meet a college sophomore who's already composed an entire original musical. But this rising star has just turned that dream into a reality. Adalia Young is reporting live from Constance Hall for the Inside Scoop.
Thank you so much, Julia. I'm here with a Bradley student whose talent goes beyond the classroom. Sophomore Jake Thomas, who is a double major in music composition and education, has already started producing his own musical called A Shot Rang Out. Jake, welcome to the show. So could you give some insight to our viewers about the musical, what it's about, without giving away any spoilers, obviously, about the plot?
So it's just a murder mystery musical. It's basically about two detectives, one who's really experienced and one that's kind of novice, and they're trying to investigate the murder of this kind of high-end lawyer and stuff, so they go and investigate his family and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so obviously it's something that sounds like it came out of a Clue book, for example. What was the inspiration behind starting this musical?
Yeah, so I really like murder mysteries, and I feel like in a lot of murder mysteries they have like colors or just different things that represent the different characters. So I was kind of thinking like, what if I wrote a musical where there were musical ideas that represented each of the characters? So I was walking around campus and one just kind of walked into my head and I wrote the first song and it just kind of went from there. And I've slowly pieced it together where every character has their own musical idea.
Totally. So as a double major, and especially in the music department, you are so busy with so many things. You were involved in Bradley Does Broadway recently. You've been in, chorale, I'm assuming, as well. So you're just always so busy all the time. How do you find the time to develop something like this, especially as a college student?
Just in passing, I always have like a little notepad with me and I write down any idea that comes to my mind, and then when I finally get like 1 hour free, I can sit down at the computer and actually like synthesize it and write it down. I'm just constantly writing things, so.
Yeah, I totally understand that. So, you said you were constantly writing. Have you gotten some insight from any professors or any other students around here to get some help on those music?
Oh yeah, totally. So in my composition lessons, Dr. Lambert has helped me piece together different ideas and just kind of make the pieces of music good and stuff. I've talked with just some friends of mine who are all in theater, and we've just kind of spoken like, hey, does this work or not? Or like, is this super cool? I basically have showed my show in some facet to almost everyone I've come across.
Yeah, so you've talked about showing your show, and I'm so fortunate to see one of those songs performed at Bradley Does Broadway. So you got to see a piece of it live, and a lot of students also did too, and they probably didn't know that was something that was written by a student. How did that make you feel to see something come to life and having viewers just come and compliment you about it?
It was really, really weird at first, and it's really, really, really cool. It gave me some insight into the characters and what people liked about the show, so I can maybe, when I go and rewrite it and stuff and just clean it up, I can hone in on those things and just make it like super awesome for everyone. It was just really cool. It was just really neat to see that all this work that I've been putting into this show is like working out and people like it.
Yeah, totally. So obviously it takes a lot of feedback and a lot of work to work on this before you can fully put it on the stage as a production. What stage process are you in right now? Or is there phases that you're going through to make sure that you feel 100% about this, becoming something that goes on stage one day?
Yeah, so I've finalized the script. I'm almost done with all the music, so all the lyrics are in the script. I'm almost done with all the music, and my next stage that I'm going into is orchestrating it, and that's, writing for the pit and the ensemble that's going to play underneath the singers and stuff. And then from there, it's done.
Yeah. So Jake, you're going to be here for the next 2 years, and you're going to be working on this for such a long time. What do you want to say to our viewers who maybe one day will see this on Broadway within the next decade or so? What do you want them to know about you?
I don't really know. This is an interesting question. That, I guess, if you have any ideas, just go for them. Just start writing stuff down. I mean, I come from very, very, very humble beginnings in like a cornfield, and I'm here at Bradley doing music and stuff. Anything's really possible. It's kind of my idea.
Well, I would definitely write that down as one of my most iconic interviews, because if you become famous one day, I'm going to say that I've interviewed the Jake Thomas. Well, you can come and see Jake Thomas. He's going to be here on campus. He's also going to be directing Bradley Does Broadway next year. So if you want to know more info about his musical, A Shot Rang Out, you can see it at Bradley Does Broadway possibly again, or come and talk to him about it, or possibly on Broadway within the next few years. This is Adalia Young signing off.
Earlier today, the Bradley Heat hosted a beer drive on Olin Quad. The event was aimed to show Bradley students the dangers of drunk driving and what it would feel like to attempt it. The organization provided students with beer goggles, which simulated the feeling of driving drunk. While students took the opportunity to put on the goggles and go for a ride, their friends would stand and watch or ride in the golf cart if they felt brave enough. For more information on the Bradley Heat or any other events they plan on hosting, you can visit their Instagram at @thebradley_heat. Coming up, Micah has your weekly softball news.
And along with some Bradley baseball updates.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
It's important to get a flu shot each and every year because flu viruses are constantly changing and immunity from the vaccine decreases over time. Flu vaccines are updated annually to work against that year's viruses. The best time to get your shot is in the fall, but getting it later can still help. Getting a flu shot lowers your risk of getting sick, and if you do happen to get flu, it's likely to be less severe.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
And welcome to BUTV Sports. I'm your host, Michael Gatewood, and let's get right into the news. For the softball team, over the weekend, they stayed at home in the OSF Healthcare Sports Complex to play in a 3-game series against the Sycamores of Indiana State. Within the first game of the series, the Braves struggled with making hits in the first half of the game until the 5th and 6th inning. In those innings, veteran batters Ashley Breeding and Sidney Kennedy chipped in 2 runs to help the Braves stay within the game. However, it wasn't enough for the Sycamores gained momentum and scored 3 runs to win over the Braves 3-2. In the second game, it was a little more of the same, but a little worse for the Braves. The Sycamores kept the Braves scoreless, even though the Braves had a solid hitting performance. Unfortunately, it was another rough loss for the Braves, losing 4-0. However, everything changed for the better for the Braves in the third game. In the course of the third game, the Braves returned the favor by shutting out Indiana State 3-0. Sidney Kennedy had an outstanding pitching performance, keeping the Sycamores to only 3 hits in the entire game. Not only that, Olivia Turner, Ashley Breeding, and Morgan Slosser capitalized on the offensive end by contributing a run for the Braves to lead to their win. Finally, yesterday, the Braves traveled over to Normal, Illinois to face off against rival Illinois State. The Braves struggled to chip off hits until the later innings of the game and were able to contribute 3 runs. However, it wasn't enough for them as the Redbirds were able to get hits and many runs to win 7-3. Moving on to baseball, the Braves traveled to Duffy Bass Field and swept the floor with the rival Illinois State. In the first game, Bradley was able to get an early lead from the Redbirds and capitalize with additional runs, including back-to-back homers from Bo Durbin and Cole Luckey within the later innings. However, the Redbirds didn't hold up, battling back and forth with the Braves, but it wasn't enough as the Braves beat the Redbirds 6-5. In the course of the second game, the Braves were dominant on the mound, crushing hits and gaining runs, bringing them to a 13-6 run in the 7th inning, including first career home run from freshman Jackson Smith. However, the Redbirds were able to come back and get a string of plethora of runs to send the game in extra innings. Reese Clapp and Ashton Horsham chip in 2 RBIs for the Braves to win 14-13. Finally, the final game of the series consisted more of the same for the Braves, a string of consistent hits with 14 and a string of RBIs and runs, with Bobby Atkinson hitting a home run in the 6th inning. The Redbirds didn't let up on the Braves, however, getting 5 runs in the course of the game, but it wasn't enough as the Braves beat the Redbirds to cement the sweep 7-5. Unfortunately, due to bad weather, the game yesterday at home against SIUE was canceled. However, be sure to catch the Braves this weekend in Chicago as they play against UIC. And there are your sports for this week. When we come back, a peek at some future campus events and a musical performance you want to stick around for.
right there. Wait. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Let's take a look at some upcoming events on campus. In honor of Holocaust Remembrance Day, AEPI is hosting a bone marrow registry drive in the Student Center tomorrow, April 24th. Have a quick and painless oral swab done and see if you are a match to donate bone marrow to a person in need. If you end up being a match for someone, you will be contacted to decide if you want to donate or not. And just for clarification, you are not committing to donating by getting a swab done. Invite some friends and get your coffee on at ABCU's Coffee Crawl, hosted this Saturday on Olinquad. Be sure to stop by for some sweet drinks and treats between noon and 2. Join Bradley in welcoming several Tibetan Buddhist monks at 4 p.m. on April 28th. The monks will begin the creation of a sand mandala, which will be constructed throughout the week. All are welcome to attend and witness this sacred cultural practice. Wow, there's a lot of really fascinating things happening on campus. Has anyone gone anything this week?
I haven't. I have been traveling for speech competitions, but I'm excited to be back on campus and hear there's so much going on.
Oh yeah.
I haven't either, but I'm excited for everything else. So this looks cool. It looks really good. So I'm just might try to catch someone.
I heard the monks are going to destroy the sand at the end to show that and everything is not permanent. So that's really cool.
Oh wow, that's very poetic.
Well, that's it for BUTV News this week. I'm Jack Rake.
I'm Mikey Gatewood.
I'm Cassie Maxwell.
I'm Awishi Pon.
And I'm Julia Hunt. We leave you tonight with a performance from Sean Tortilla. Have a great night.
Let's talk about the old days. Let's talk about your friends. Let's talk about the summer and how you wished it wouldn't end. Did I forget to tell you how pretty you looked in that dress? And the first time that I saw you, you cleaned the mess from my head. And I don't mind if we take our time. No, I don't mind. Let's go walking on the boardwalk, dip our feet into the sea. Let's find ourselves lost for hours until we find ourselves a drink. Let's talk that sun in the setting. Just need the sound of your voice. Need the calming and the comfort, something to drown out the noise. And I don't mind if we take our time, 'cause I'm all yours.